What's up, everybody, and welcome to
The LittleBigKast.
We are 4 players searching for that elusive game-life balance. On today's show, we micro-show it up because Jeffrey has to leave early. So
super speedy.
We go through a whole lot of Destiny content really quickly.
Jefftiny. We Jefftiny
And
it.
then we talk about No Man's Sky overhype.
Yeah,
and then we call it.
And then we call it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is episode 108 of the LittleBigKast. Welcome.
No dirty jokes for me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a micro edition of the LittleBigKast. My name is Jeff Hawks. I'm one of 4 hosts for today's show. With me, as always, we'll start on the far end. Dr. Robin Hazlett.
Hola.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. I'm regaining my voice after losing it for 3 days.
You and me both.
Oh,
Sounds
man.
good, doesn't it? It's nice to have your voice back, not be coughing all the time.
La 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 la.
Next up, our own Glegum Wiggum.
Hey, Glegum Wiggum.
Glegum Wiggum Glenn. Glenn,
Was your voice in the Lost and Found?
Ha,
we
ha.
found it. Glenn is the king of dad jokes, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
He for someone,
Dirty dad jokes.
So for someone who, as far as we know, is not a dad currently, he does have
Pretty
quite the
sure.
repertoire
I
of
think it's
dad
genetic.
jokes. Additionally, Drew Tyler, our own Drew Tyler, is here. He's working out some technical issues, and so we're getting a late start. Not only are we late, like a day late, but we're also late because we wanted to start at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And you know what? We are the game life balance, and this is the way life works sometimes, is you get pushed a day because everyone's sick, and then you're late because everyone's in meetings. So we appreciate you being here with us, listening to us. If you're listening on the podcast, our tardiness doesn't affect you at all. So hopefully,
The problem solved.
you know, maybe I need to just stop mentioning that we're late, because if you're listening to the podcast, then it doesn't matter.
It's like that thing where you're like performing and you mess up. You don't tell people you mess up.
Right, because they might not have noticed. True, good point. Anyway, we typically start the show with kind of what's been going on in our weeks, and because we're a micro show, we're going to keep it super tight today, especially me, because I'm the one that seems to ramble more than anyone else
But
here.
you had the biggest event. It was something with an H and a B and a birth and a day.
Yeah, it was. I was born yesterday, 32 years ago.
Happy birthday
Whoa.
to you.
So yeah,
Is that for me?
Yes.
I was sick as a dog, so it wasn't like there was much celebrating to be had. We did have a pizza, and we watched a phenomenal show that I'm going to recommend to all of you guys. And I want to make sure that it's I think the Wander Peoples. Is that it? The Wander
Oh, I've never
Sounds
heard of
scary.
that. That's rare that I haven't heard of a TV show.
He's got a point.
Wander People. Is that
I don't think
it?
I watched anything.
Yeah, Hunt for the Wilder People. Hunt for the Wilder People. So this is by the same guy who made. So it's Taika Waititi. It's a New Zealand film. He's the one that made that the vampire show. What we do in the night?
Shadows.
What we do in the shadows. Yeah,
that was
okay.
good.
Yeah.
What we do
I
in the
went and
shadows.
I saw that with KT, I think,
So-
because it was a Kickstarter film. So
Yeah.
I went and saw it in
So
theater.
It's a great
made by
movie.
the same guy. This film is, if Pixar made live action movies, this would be their movie. This is like a flawless, fun, hilarious, like family movie, but like it totally like. So my 6-year-old watched it, loved it, but it also, like, for Claire and I, we freaking loved this movie. This
Is it
definitely
like-
is not a child's movie, but
Is
it
it on
works
par
for
with
children.
Song of the Sea?
Yeah. Or
Sweet.
like Stardust. Like the same
Oh,
kind of like
fantastic.
the kids like it. It's fun for kids, but it totally works for adults too. Like I can't recommend it enough. The kid that acts in it is freaking hilarious. He's perfect. It's got what's the dude's name? From Jurassic Park. Is it Sam Neill?
Yeah.
That guy's name?
Yep.
Sam Neill's in it. It's phenomenal. There's a scene in the movie where this lady kills a boar with a knife, like jumps on it and is like stabbing it to death.
Yikes.
And my daughter's sitting there like, oh my gosh, they're killing the pig. And she's like, why are they killing the pig? And my wife's like, it's so that they can eat. And Olive's like, what are you talking about? And we're eating pepperoni pizza, right? And Claire's like, you're eating a pig right now? And she's like, don't you say that to me. Don't you say that. I'm done eating.
I love your child.
And now
And,
she's
oh my gosh.
vegetarian.
Yeah, so that's been a conversation we've had several times, but I don't think it
doesn't
resonates.
really
It doesn't
stick.
stick around.
You can take her to
Phenomenal
my
movie,
family's
though.
ranch if you want.
Show
Yeah.
them how the
during.
process goes.
I mean, it shows this lady like stabbing, like blood is squirting out everywhere, and then she like huffs it onto her back and like
That's
is
a real
wearing
world.
like a pig backpack. It's pretty funny.
That's the real world.
Other than that, game-wise, Destiny, and that's it. We got a lot of Destiny in the news, so I'll leave it
Save
short.
Yeah.
for that. All
But
right.
watch Hunt for the Wilder People. It's very funny. Yeah, whoever wants
So
to go
I'll go.
next.
I'll go. So my week has been pretty basic. I was just tad little bit late because I was chasing money. So I went to. I had to
Good.
stay through the whole meeting because I had
Good,
to like
good,
get them to
good.
vote on giving me $1,000. So it won. I worked. It's good.
Perfect.
So,
Ooh,
yeah.
ATM.
So
woot.
happy.
So there we go. So that's it. For game wise, I have been able to play. Surprisingly, it's been fun this way because I'll check the Sierra Facebook page, but very rarely. I subscribe.
King's
so I
Quest.
so King's Quest came out with Chapter 4, and I told my girls on Saturday, and they were like, "We have to play." The Chapter 3 over again. Like, we got to get ready. And I was like, you guys are doing it right. So we sat for the last
So
couple days,
proud.
raced through Chapter 3, and then they got Chapter 4, and they had to, like, call me and check on, like, Dad, is it okay if we play without you? We know you're not home right now, but we're all here. We're going to play without you. So it's kind of fun to see all my girls, like, cuddle up on the couch and be playing a game when I walked in the door. So that's been my play. It's been fun, and it's amazing. It's always a good game with the Odd Gentleman.
Very cool. What about you, Glenn?
I had an eventful week of not doing anything.
That sounds like
Nice.
my dream.
I know. I was
Tell
on
me what that's
vacation. I was on vacation, but I ended up doing stuff like almost every day, like fun stuff. We went to Lagoon once. I went sailing one day, and the Jordanelle River
Sailing. That's
Dam
something I
thing.
wish I could
Like
do
with
more
a
of.
sailboat?
Yeah, on a sailboat.
Wow.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. I went to a corn. Ooh, sorry.
Corn maze?
I went to a Disturbed concert.
Oh, that's
okay.
We hit a really dumb haunted house.
Oh.
How was the concert? Was it real that they actually lit the stage on fire?
Yeah, well, they had curtains that were
It
made
was
to light on
staged.
fire.
Oh,
The
it was
stage
But it
intentional.
just looked, but you didn't notice
didn't
them
know.
because they just looked like curtains, and all of a sudden,
They just lit up.
So it was intentional then.
Yeah,
It would have
totally.
been cooler if it wasn't
yeah,
intentional.
they would have
And
been.
the band
we
just
would
was
have been
like,
evacuated.
and just kept
Oh,
jamming through
that's
it.
rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
It's
Rock
so
and
metal.
roll.
This is what metal is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then tomorrow I'm going camping for a week all on my lonesome,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna bring Blair Witch Project with me, and 127 hours, and
You
watch
would.
them.
Oh, that's a
You
great.
would.
Good choice.
That's a
That's a
Glenn
Glenn
move.
choice.
I was there covering the news when that story came out. The 127 hours. The guy basically traps his boulder,
Yeah.
a boulder traps his hand, and he
Spoilers.
cuts it off. So I was there when we
Yes.
followed that, and that became a news topic for quite some time.
Yeah.
So I hope I was excited for you to watch that.
That's a
alone.
great film, though. Like
It's
when
good,
they
though.
when they
It's well
show him
done. That
was
actually
good.
cut the final nerve, and it like distorts the video a little bit. It make
hurts?
you feel it. Like it's like like it just kind of hurts down in your guts.
I believe it.
Robin, what about you?
I have recovered from being sick. You can't hear it as much in my voice as it was, but from Sunday night until today, I have not had a true voice. So it has completely derailed my game life balance because
Fake voice.
yes, and my trying to get everything rebalanced after having it thrown off kilter is crazy. Because you'd think like, hey, I'm going to stay home and be sick and play games. No, my head hurt too bad to even pick up a controller.
Exactly what happened to me. I had
Ouch.
friends being like, "You're just chilling. Why don't you hop on?" And I'm like, "A light is making my eyes go fuzzy." Like,
And then you feel like there's an anvil in the front of your
right,
head.
for sure.
So yeah, that's been my week is recovering.
Wow, I'm so glad that I have been
trying-
healthy and strong.
I'm kind of pointed in your direction, but I'm trying to angle my breath away from you. So
Hi.
I apologize if you
You're
get
kind.
sick. That was a pretty quick
Yeah,
weekly
I'm cool
wrap
with
up.
Fastest
So
weekly we've ever had.
let's,
I'm excited for the news.
Let's jump into the news. We got a cool. Well, I don't know that it's a cool topic. It's an interesting topic. But let's jump into the news real fast. We have a lot of Destiny news to go over.
Jefftiny.
Take it away.
Drew's news
With Jefftiny.
with Jefftiny.
Oh, it's time to hook up the Destiny. So news number one, there's a little rumor that was floating out there that Destiny 2 The unannounced 2017 sequel is on its way, coming PC, Xbox, PS4, right? A couple of sources have been talking about that. Right?
That's the big one.
The fact that it's coming to PC.
Yeah, that's the rumor is that it's coming to PC.
That's
So
part of the
Destiny 1
news.
is not on PC.
No, but it's the you just barely got like another Destiny install. So what's the time frame for this one? Like we're talking mid-year next year. Or
I suspect so. Everything that Destiny has launched
year.
so far has been
fallish.
Typically September.
Yeah.
September is like their month for launching their big stuff. So Vanilla Destiny launched September. The Taken King launched September. Rise of Iron launched September. I suspect that Destiny 2 will launch September 2017. And I think that's what the Activision financials kind of discussed when they initially talked about it, was that it was going to be like Q3 of 2017. And then so the other big thing about this is that they talked about how Destiny 2 will be made to feel like an entirely new game instead of an expansion. So there have been rumors within the community and a lot of talk that that really it should be this Taken King style expansion where it's a new $60 game. It's the full scope and scale of a new game, except that it's an expansion. So you continue to play with your Guardian. You continue to push through the same world, similar to like World of Warcraft or whatever. And there's like a very like hard division between the player base. And so there's people on both sides that are like arguing that, yeah, you should have an expansion feel, that your character should continue on, your story should continue on. And then there's this other side that says it needs to be fresh to feel new. Right, and it needs to be a fresh start, and it needs to be this new place. And so I fall in the camp personally, and I would suspect that you guys feel the same way, because as communication people, like I think at our core, we tend to think of ourselves as like storytellers, and we value storytellers. Mm-hmm. I just want to be told the story that Bungie wants to tell me, is how I feel. Like I want to be told whatever. Like I would not project my own. I would never project like what I want on a creator. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
I want to experience Destiny the way that they want me to experience, and if that means that I get my slate wiped clean and I start a brand new character, I'm okay with that.
You got to give me reason, though.
Right.
Well, you're not a slave to the storyline either if you start over.
Right.
Like right now, they have all these things that have happened, and a lot of people, when this latest expansion came out, were worried that it was going to be like time travel and flashbacks and all this stuff. But a new game would, starting with slate clean, would give you that option to do a different story in the same universe.
To jump on it.
So one easy way I think that they could do that, to both start fresh while still honoring kind of the path that you've walked, is the way that Mass Effect 2 handled it. So if you've played the Mass Effect series, in Mass Effect, at the end of Mass Effect, like the beginning actually of Mass Effect 2, you're dead, like you're floating in space. Mm-hmm. So you die at the very beginning of Mass Effect. Your ship explodes and you're just floating through space, and you end up getting picked up by this pro-human organization called Cerberus, who basically rebuild your body. They rebuild you. And at that point, you're given the option: do you want to import your character from Mass Effect 1, or do you want to build a new character? And if you import your old character, so say I was an infiltrator in Mass Effect 1, okay, now I'm an infiltrator again. I think they, personally, I feel like it would be a mistake not to start fresh with new powers, new abilities. I feel like it would be a mistake to just continue forward with a solar, an arc, and a void super through, in perpetuity. I think that would be a mistake.
Right.
But I could see them like killing your guardian. Like, what if your guardian dies, your ghost is captured? Like, so they release like this really late DLC that's just a cinematic DLC where your guardian is killed, because if your ghost isn't with you, you're dead, right? You're a reanimated corpse, essentially. So what if you died, and when your ghost finally makes it back to you for Destiny 2, everything has changed. The world has changed. The landscape has changed. The universe. This is a universal game. Like, what if the universe had changed?
You found out you were the conquerors and the bad guys.
Yeah, sure, whatever it is. Or there's this secret faction. In The Taken King, you learn that there's this faction of Night Stalkers, and there's this faction of Solar Titans and Arc Warlocks that you didn't know about until then. What if there's factions that like worship the darkness that come and kill you at the end? I'm dragging on big time. I'm dragging on big time, and we don't have time for me to drag on.
Sure, we do.
I am open to Bungie telling me the story they want to tell me. I look forward to it, and I'm stoked.
The official Destiny
I think
podcast.
it's a jumping on point. If it were a fresh start for Destiny 2, I think enough people who saw the hype, enjoyed it, would jump in and grab it. So, news number 2 on this round is the announcement. PlayStation Experience is up and announced. 2016 PlayStation Experience will be December 3 and 4. That's a Saturday, Sunday in Anaheim. Start with Tough on 10 a.m. on Saturday. Lots of tickets, prices, but really it's pretty affordable for a conference for just about people to go and explore and enjoy Sony-centric. But for 2 days, like $75 to get 2 days. $60 if you get them early enough. So I think that's really, really cool. I would love to get there one of these days. It just happens to land always in the middle of the tail end of the last week of the semester. Sony, you're not doing me any favors. That's just too hard to do. But I might still figure it out. Like, I can shirk. Maybe this is the year for me to shirk.
No, it's not shirking. You just plan ahead and
professional development.
And also, this is when you use that flipped classroom.
Yes, right. I am going to go. Yes. Tune in. I will teach you from Anaheim. So other news in Destiny. This is kind of cool. The secret Outbreak Prime weapon was found after one of the most complicated quests. I did not watch the video, but I believe a crew. Was it Dado?
It's insane. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the puzzle part.
Let me tell you
You
about this.
got 30 minutes,
right.
by the way. 3.
Crazy.
Yeah. Okay, 3 minutes? Gosh dang. All right. So Destiny streamer Dado and his crew, along with members of the Destiny subreddit and Bungie forums, solved this unsolvable freaking quest to find a weapon. So when Rise of Iron launched, there was a separate website that was launched by Bungie called ARG, and it just brought up this cool symbol and then lines of code, code and patterns that
interesting.
Nobody could make sense of.
Like ARG, alternate reality game.
Right.
Love that.
So as Dado went through the raid for the first time, and I was actually watching Gathalion and Broman's stream. At the very end of the raid, they found this tunnel underneath where the boss was. So they ran around the edge of the platform and found a separate platform 20 feet down below, jumped down to it, and there's this tunnel that leads to a chest that has lasers in front of it that you can't get to because there's lasers.
What?
Like Mission Impossible?
And they were like, holy crap, how do we get here? And there's a monitor to the side that says activate monitor. They activated the monitor, and they were like, nothing happened. So what's supposed to happen here? Well, when they activated the monitor, this logo came up that's on that ARG website. So
nice.
What Dado and this team did is they went back, found all of the different monitors throughout the raid, which there are 5.
Oh.
And each monitor has a separate clue, and at a certain point in the raid, you have to use those clues plus the ARG website and combine those to form the pattern that you have to stand on. There's a room, like a big diamond, and there's these. It's like this grid network, and you have to stand on them in the order that is combined with the raid info and the ARG website info. And when you do that, it opens up a secret room that has the 5th monitor in it. And that's how you activate the last monitor. You kill the boss, and then you can get in and get into this special room. That's not the end of the mission. So when you get to the special room, you get the quest. That's when the quest actually starts. So you're given the quest. So after that, ultimately what it ends up being is it's 18 key points that have to be met, and each of the 18 quests have 4 or 5 minor points that have to be met.
Wow.
But once you have the quest, you have to be in a fire team with a hunter, a warlock, and a titan. You have to do individual things as those subclasses to be able to get it, and you have to be in a fire team the whole time. It's freaking awesome. When you think of what goes into this to solve this, I just have to tip my hat to I don't watch Dado very often. He has some informative videos, but His room's always a little bit messy. His camera work's a little shoddy. His audio's a little shoddy.
Welcome to
But
the
my
party.
gosh. Yeah, well, that's us right now.
He's got
But
priorities.
Temporary.
seriously, I've got to tip my hat to the guys that ran through this and figured these things out because, and I've got to tip my hat to Bungie.
And to creating
How
it.
freaking
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
That Bungie was willing to go out and create something like they know that people love to solve mysteries within their game. Like when the
Your
Vault
3
of
minutes
Glass
is
launched.
way up.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I love
When
it.
Vault of Glass launched, it was like players spent the first year searching the vault for a fifth chest, convinced that there was a fifth chest. Thousands of hours were poured into the Vault of Glass just exploring and trying to find, hey, if we kill all these things at the exact same second, maybe something opens up.
Wow. Try everything.
If we've all been through the Vault of Glass, and there's certain points where you can see in the distance, you can see portals that are never activated, and so
Right.
like this, there's just always been these like this desire to solve raid secrets, and this gave us a real raid secret that could be solved. And
I love that they use a
Bravo.
website like outside of the game on top of everything else. I just can't believe that these guys have this much time to explore and
They're
to
doing it
find.
professionally.
I just wish that I had
They're
more
getting
time.
paid for that stuff.
Maybe that's the key.
like these are the patterns that were coming up on the ARG website, stuff like that.
Curtis.
It's freaking nuts.
And they found it, recognized it, put it all together.
I'm proud
Yeah,
of them, but
it's
there
wild.
is no way in hell I would do it.
That's-
See, I'd love
The
to chase.
cake was
I'd
a
love to chase that down and
lie.
figure that out.
So it's worth
Preach
looking
it.
into it a little bit more, but that's my 2
Very
cents.
cool. So can anybody now do that same thing and find the same super
Well, you
weapon,
got to
right?
do the same
You gotta-
crazy process.
You got to
though,
find the process though.
which means I'll never get
That's
the
what-
gun that comes with it.
Because it's too much process.
Is it an exotic gun that comes with it?
Yeah, it's an exotic. So it's an exotic pulse rifle, and it drops at 390.
Jeez.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet, and I don't even know what that means.
390, yeah.
Yeah, 390. All right.
Yeah.
It's higher
So-
than what you can be right now, right? No, 390.
Two more quick newses, and then we'll head
That's
to
your
new
weapon,
releases.
Glenn.
That's a good-looking Outbreak Prime. That's sexy. That's
It's pretty dope.
All right, what are we on, like 4?
See, that's what I'm talking. Look how messy his room is.
Dude, come on.
Come on, clean up your shiz.
Priorities.
Assassin's Creed may not get a 2017 release.
Thank God.
The CEO said Assassin's Creed franchise may not see another entry till 2018.
Well, they got the movie to worry about.
It'll be back when it's ready, is what he said. So I think, yeah,
Thank you.
take your
Instead of
time.
just
Thank you.
pumping it
I
out.
love
Like
Assassin's
Brotherhood.
Creed.
Take your time.
I will forever adore Assassin's Creed.
Because of time,
but
let's just
what
kill this one.
what happened with Unity? We gotta
Right? It was
They-
half-baked. It was not quite there. And
yeah, and they fixed a lot of things with Syndicate, and I am completely happy as someone who absolutely adores the whole entire franchise, is planning on naming whatever son I have in the future Desmond. They needed to not make this a serial yearly release.
That's good.
Yeah, I hope they do it justice. Like
EA
the Assassin's
Sports.
Creed system,
It's
like
in the game.
the Assassin's Creed storyline is so cool, right? Like
Right.
it's such a cool idea. It's such a cool world.
Let it ruminate for a minute.
Yeah, let it be cool again.
Yeah.
Let it be
Yeah.
good. Like
Yeah.
give it the time to be what it deserves
It's
to
like
be.
when you overplay a song on the radio.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Too
like,
much.
oh, we always know this is going to be out and expected. It's like, no, let me want this again.
Yep. Totally.
All right, I'm going to hit new releases real quick, and then we'll hit our topic for 5 minutes.
What?
New releases coming up in the next week. Arcade Archives Contra. We all know Contra.
Contra.
I think
Contra.
Contra, like,
Classic.
born to a lot of gamers. Darkest Dungeon, which is a cross-buy. Dead Rising 2, FIFA 17, Lichspiel, Mountain Blade.
Lichspiel.
I like to say Lichspiel. Mountain Blade Warband, Wand Wars, which is out today, XCOM 2, and Z Heroes. So those are all PS4s for this week.
XCOM 2.
Yeah, some of them are interesting. But that was passing because what I think we want to talk about for the last 5 minutes that we have Jeff with us is the topic that Robin has brought to us.
Okay, so we've been hearing a lot about No Man's Sky and how players have been abandoning it on Steam. There is, I think, less than 1,000 weekly players
On Steam.
on Steam. And it used to be, it was at this huge high when it first released. And now people are feeling that they've been cheated because they thought that they were getting something completely different. And when they actually bought the game, started playing the game, they realized that they didn't have any form of multiplayer and meeting people and having, different biomes, and all of the shelters look the same, even on these procedurally generated planets. And so now they're coming under investigation, at least for the Steam, the PC version, that the advertising materials on Steam do not look what they don't look like the graphics within the game, that they have been souped up, that there is some sort of there's a major discrepancy from what you get in the game and from what is advertised. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is that Sean Murray, basically the figurehead of Hello
He's the
Games.
director, right?
Yeah, he's the director. And he has, I think, 4 or 5 people working with him. He has dropped off of all communication. It used to be that he was like, basically, he made his own hype train and he got on his own hype train. And he has not been active since like August 27th, like just a week or 2 weeks after it launched. And so what it makes me think is that I am genuinely worried for this guy's mental health.
It could wreck you if you build something, put it out in the world. I mean, there's a moment there where you pour your soul into it, and then it comes back this way, and you're like, ugh.
Well, and even think about the way he talked about the game leading up to it, and like the letter that he sent out with it, like,
right,
like
please,
this
is me.
This is me.
This is us. Like our team, our small, freaking, tiny, puny little team has put our heart and soul into this, and we've released it out. Like, so I think there's a couple things here to consider. Is number one, like, this is an indie team, right? This is a very small team that quite literally took on something that has never been done before,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like procedurally generated worlds on a
consistent
massive scale. That's unprecedented.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had ever done that before, and everyone was excited by this. Like everybody spun it up, including, and maybe part of the blame is to be set on Sony's shoulders, where
they push it.
You know, they didn't fund any of the development, but they paid for advertising. Like Sony was in charge of marketing this platform and this game.
Maybe we've forgotten that even though Sony, a huge, massive company, is backing Hello Games, it's still Hello Games.
Right.
And they're still an indie company. And they have gone through the ringer. Because when they were trying to make Joe Danger, when they were just getting it done, I remember being on Twitter, and on Christmas Eve, I think it was a year or 2 years ago, their office flooded. Everything was gone.
I remember that. They were like 3/4 of the way through No Man's Sky as well at the time.
Yeah. And
in fact, wasn't that the same year that they did their first E3 demo?
Yeah,
and they talked about like how amazing it was that they were able to rebuild everything in time for E3.
Right.
Yeah.
So they've been through the ringer already. And I think that my big question is that if this was a huge AAA, you know, like EA or Ubisoft or something to that effect, you know, would we still be having the reaction that we do of like either it's like, oh, you poor thing, I'm sorry this is happening, you know, PR and marketing kind of screwed it up and people's expectations went crazy. And I personally am worried about their mental health, because this is really, really scary.
Yeah, it's very put yourself out there, very raw.
He put himself out there extremely raw, and now he's completely pulled back, and I don't see this turning out well unless, you know, people let up off of what we thought was going to happen. I didn't have any strange expectations.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think any of us, I mean, we talked about it at the end, but I suppose if you only caught the highlights and the Uber press without like digging into it and figuring out, maybe you would have gotten a different feel of what it might, you know, what it was going to be or what it expected to be. I knew exactly what it was.
Yeah,
okay, I can't say exactly, but I enjoyed it. And I still enjoy it.
Oh, that's my escape.
Yeah.
I'm going to wander around, and I'm going to upgrade my ship, and I'm going to fly different planets, and I'm going to mark all these things, you know, like Lil 352 was here. Ha ha ha. That's what I need.
I didn't bring this up last week, but I actually got a message from somebody about 3 weeks ago that said, hey, I just came across your solar system called Wonderland, and they were just like, thought that was really cool. And they sent me a message on PSN to say that was cool. And I was
That's super neat.
We were in the same place. Yay. So I don't know. I didn't have an I wouldn't say like over. What I expected is what I got. And I feel like whatever, you know, the expectations or the, you know, dragging in the claims of what do you call it, the
butthurt nerds.
No, you know,
No, like all the multiplayer, the Steam,
the Steam, especially like saying that this was like misadvertisement.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't
I
think
don't agree
I
at
don't
all.
think that it is all, and I think that this would scare anybody from putting their heart and soul into something again if they watch this unfold and. I worry for Sean too, and the team, because it hurts when things aren't working the way they're supposed to, or even if they're working and people had unreal expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you can do is gamers that love it can reach out and a little bit more support. Hey,
and like stop.
I'm enjoying it.
Stop
Yeah.
being terrible. Don't troll.
Yeah,
I feel like if you buy a game, you don't know if you're going to like it or not for sure. And then if you don't like it, that's just how the world goes. You don't
Right.
like the video game.
It's the same
and
way
move
that if
on.
you didn't like a book, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
wasn't a great book.
okay, so you return it to a used bookstore for half the price.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe there should be like a way to do that digitally. Like maybe that's something that needs to happen.
Return
where,
your license.
Hey, if you purchase a game digitally, yeah, you return your license and it's locked unless you delete it. Like,
Get on it, GameStop.
because I can return crap to GameStop at half the price, right?
Power
Like
computers
maybe
when
that's
they
just
have-
the
A
risk
third,
that you
quarter
take
of it.
in purchasing a game is that you may not like it. Guess what? That's life. Like how many movies have we purchased
Right.
tickets to that we hated?
Yeah.
Con
Those are
Air.
creative
That's
projects.
the nature of art, right? Like
Yeah.
the nature of art is that it's subjective, and that's not always true. Like there are objectively good games, and there are and movies and books and art pieces, and there are objectively bad movies and art and books and whatever. But the vast majority of movies, art, games, whatever, is subjective. Like earlier, Glenn, you and I were talking about Drive, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a very stylized film.
Not
And
everybody's going to like it.
Loved it.
I liked it
and
a lot.
that's part of playing like The Wolf Among Us.
Right.
I was like, oh, I feel like this is the intro to Drive. Like, oh, it's so cool, and it's got neon lights, and it's got this cool '80s theme. It feels so just over the top cool. But I know that there are people that hate that crap. Like, I know that there are people that didn't like Drive, but I loved it. So it's totally subjective. Games are the same way. Like I've played games where everybody freaking craps all over it, and I'm like, I just like it. Like,
Yeah.
I like it. Sorry, like,
There's
and we should
specific
be able to
elements
do that
we do.
without having to apologize. And that's the same thing. Like, we can go back to Mass Effect, the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Oh.
Like people filed lawsuits then against BioWare for the ending of Mass Effect 3, and I was like, dude,
That's so weird.
these guys,
It's their
these
story.
guys
Their
have
damn
to
story,
wrap up.
right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine how hard it would be to wrap up that story. Like, how do you wrap it up and put a bow on it and say, hey, here's the ending. Everyone liked the ending.
I'm suing
I don't know how you do
J.K.
that.
Rowling for killing Dumbledore.
Right?
Right.
This is the same thing to me. Like
Harry
Yeah.
didn't end up
I
with
agree.
freaking Hermione. This is bullcrap. I want my money back.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to say that unless you're writing the story. You don't get to say that, and like you can not like it, and you can ask for like. I don't have a problem with them asking for their money back and being like, listen, I didn't get what I thought I was going to get. But on a certain level, you have to understand you're purchasing someone's art and you're purchasing someone's work. I don't know.
Where do you?
Yeah.
Oh, comment below.
I don't know. For me, Alan brings up the point that it's early adopters dilemma, and that's a really solid point. You wait for reviews from people who you know their taste in games, and you know that what they like to consume is what you like to consume, and that's how you figure it out. And wait for somebody else to test the waters first,
Yeah.
and hopefully that person is paid and can write very well.
Well, and that's what persuaded me. Was I
Right.
watched the Mashable live stream, and they said this is my sit down, this is my go to game for unwinding, and it's one I can kind of come back and forth to enjoy that exploration. But I'm not
Yeah.
driving it anyway. That's
It's
what got me. I was
we
like, I
don't
want
have
that
to
game.
set time aside for it.
Right, I want one of those, and that's why I think I bought in because I thought that idea. Mikey says, Master Dugong says, I'm always skeptical since Fable on Xbox.
True.
But that being said, he said, I
Yeah.
think No Man's was exactly what they
I hated
advertised.
Fable 3. I was a beta tester.
And that's again
for
like
that,
that's
and
why
just
I
hated it.
like I have totally gone away from pre-orders unless I know for sure that I'm gonna like it.
Somebody's
Like
got it, yeah.
now, like even games that I know I'm gonna like, I know that I will love Dishonored 2. I know I will. Everything that I see about it, I'm like, this is and you can tell that Bethesda has like total confidence in this game because they did a 30-minute gameplay demo at E3 and they're releasing so many gameplay videos. Like,
Right.
they know that they've done something cool with this game, and I loved the first Dishonored. But there's a part like I can't pre-order it. I can't do it. Like I got burned on Watch Dogs bad enough that I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not pre-ordering games.
Watch Dogs.
So the only games that I've pre-ordered in the last 2 years have been DLC for Destiny, because I knew I was going to play it anyway.
Right.
And The Witcher.
Yep. And then
And I knew it was going to be good.
Yep.
That's it. And I bought quite a few games, but I wait until reviews are out. And that's just part of the buyer has to have some responsibility there.
Well, exactly.
Like the person making the purchase has to have some responsibility. If $60 is a lot of money to you, and for most people it is, right?
With your $60.
Like I get that $60 is a lot of money, and getting pissed off about losing that $60 on something you don't like sucks. But you, as a consumer, have a responsibility
forced you to put that on there, right?
You have a responsibility to double check your purchase.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to buy a pair of headphones, I'm like, I have $100 for a pair of headphones. I'm going to research the crap out of the headphones that I buy. I'm going to make sure I get every ounce of quality out of that $100 that I can.
Yep. Imagine if a brand new like third-party company you never heard of came out with a pair of headphones, and they hyped them, and we still, you saw advertising, and you saw them coming out. You still wouldn't pre-order a set of headphones without putting them on your ears.
Exactly.
It's called Beats.
Those are like $180.
They were.
Yeah, let's not.
I fell into the thing, and I bought $300 pair of Beats.
And you, yeah.
And
made in China for $14.
They're sitting in my junk drawer right now, and I use the sole.
Yeah.
The soles are so much better.
Yep.
That's my plug.
And
All
a
right,
lot cheaper.
you better take us home. You got to
All
go.
right. Yep, I gotta go. Anyway, this has been episode 108 of the Little Big Cast. Thank you for joining us. If you're a Patreon subscriber, thank you so much for supporting us. You guys are awesome. As you can see, if you're watching the podcast, we are still kind of roughing it, but it's coming together slowly. Surely, Jeff mentioned that we probably need more lights, and he is absolutely right.
Oh, yeah.
We're working on that. They're coming. We're excited to be here. If you'd like to join our Patreon, please go over to patreon.com/LittleBigKast. But huge shout out again to our supporters. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being there for us. This, ladies and gentlemen, has been episode 108 of the Little Big Cast.
Yes.
My name is Jeff Hawks. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Hawks and on PSN at MRHOX. That's Mr. Hawks or Mrox, whatever you want to say. With me, as always, Mr. Drew Tyler.
You can follow me at Night20K and ITE20 everywhere and anywhere, and follow me, you shall.
Our own Glenn Wiggum.
I'm at Wigs9703 on the games and at GWiggum on the socials.
And Dr. Robin Hazlett.
And I am Lil352 on PSN and Robin Hazlett basically everywhere else.
And you can also follow Rachel Hernandez, who is not with us today. She's here with us in spirit. Pirate Rachel with a 3 instead of an E. Yes.
Which E?
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Check you next time.
Bye.
Bye.